Hello, my name is Katie, and I want to say welcome to the Clear Mind Method. So, before we get started, let's make sure you're in the right place. You are in the right place if you've been looking for a way to live life purposely. But you're unsure where to start. You struggle with mental clarity, and there's just so much self-care information out there. You may have tried some things, but you keep kind of falling through the cracks and um, they just don't work. But you keep trying. You still want to get your mindset clear. And thirdly, you are open to hearing about God because in this live, I'm going to talk about God, my relationship with God, and how it helped me mentally because God is good like that. So, I believe that counseling and all of that is wonderful. I've done it, I use it. But there is an action piece that we need to do, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. So, okay, so first, um, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, okay? So you know who's teaching you and why you should listen. My name is Katie Jane. I said that in the beginning. Um, Two first names, but Jane is actually my last name. So, mental health is something that I am extremely passionate about, and and I didn't really think much of it until the year 2020. So nobody really likes that year, but it wasn't because of the pandemic that I was um, struggling mentally. So, my husband and I were going through this big thing in our marriage, and for his, like to keep him, it's just to be respectful to him. I don't want to give details or anything, but I know that because I got so angry, I became part of the problem, and I started dealing with anxiety and depression because I was trying to control a situation that was out of my control. So I started washing my face, and that was something that kickstarted a self-care routine for me. From washing my face, I went to running. Then I went to started eating better, and then I started going to church. And then before I knew it, I started seeing how beautiful life can really be. And I realized that you really can change your life. Um, that we have much more control once we start spending our energy on things that we can control. um, Things can really change for the better, and focusing on positive things that are happening, gratitude and all that. So now it is my mission to show as many people and as many women that something as little as washing your face twice a day can really change your life. um, and And yeah, and so now my husband and I, we stuck it out. We had been separating back and forth many times, and we now have a beautiful baby girl together. We live a life that I love. We live simply, um, and we live by a lake. We have a dog, two cats, and life is so good. And we go to church every Sunday, and God is very good to us. So He's always good. So let's get started. If you're just watching the replay now, welcome, and feel free to skip forward over all of my gibberish. So, in this class, I'll be teaching you three things. The first one is that not all healthy habits are created equally, and there are three types that you actually need, okay? The second thing I'll be teaching you is the one thing that you can do twice a day to completely boost your confidence. It's pretty cool. The third thing I'll be teaching you is the one thing that you need consistent to stay consistent, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So consistency is key in anything you do in life, especially if you're trying to improve your life. So I'm going to talk about the one thing that you need to stay consistent. And regardless of what social media tells you, regardless of what the news tells you, commercials and all this, I have a thing that will not cost you a penny. Okay, so secret number 1, not all healthy habits are created equal. So have you ever noticed that people keep screaming, self-care, self-care? Well, what does that even mean? Self-care means to take care of oneself. If and if I really listened to myself and what I really wanted, I would be hiding under the covers, just eating bars of chocolate all day long. And that's really not healthy, okay? So I do think that there is truth to that. We do need to take care of ourselves because we neglect ourselves, especially, you know, I've always kind of neglected myself and I've always pushed myself on the back burner, but especially as a mother, there's this little human that we have to take care of first, if not more than one, and so you really need to make sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself. And your body is a temple. It is important to take care of it. But here's the 3 areas that you need to take care of yourself. And I'm going to show you exactly the way that I've been doing that daily to keep myself on track. So you need to take care of yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. And those 3 are all connected, okay? So here's how I do this. So mentally, mentally is the hardest for me. Physically and spiritually, I feel like it is super easy, but if I don't do, if I'm not mentally there, then I don't want to do either of them. So it starts with one, and they are all connected. But mentally, a great way to organize your mental mess is to do a brain download, or I've heard them called a brain dump. And I just like to call them a brain download because I think it sounds prettier. So a brain download is kind of a form of journaling. And all you do is you grab a piece of paper, it can look like this, and you just start writing down anything and everything that you can think of. So don't worry about organize your thoughts yet, but this is a way of like planning out your week, okay? So anything from what you're cooking this week to the kids' doctor's appointments to school, what's going on in, birthday parties, what your workouts are, anything like that. Just start writing down what bills are due. Write everything down on a piece of paper, no organization, anything and everything until you're done thinking. And then when you are done, it can help to have some highlighters to organize, like, okay, so like pink is for kids, orange is for food, a grocery list or whatever. And then take a journal or a calendar and schedule out a time when you are going to do that. And then daily work from a list so that you're feeling productive, and cross those things off a list so that the things are actually getting done. So when it's Monday, July 17th, you are crossing those things off the list, like your grocery list and going to the dentist appointment and those things, so that you're being proactive towards the day instead of reactive. So that's I sit down on Sundays when my baby is napping, and my husband is outside mowing the lawn or something like that, and I do a brain download, and that helps me get set for the week, to know what's going on that week. You can do them every night if you need to. Sometimes the week changes, so that's helpful, especially if you have more kids, if you have more going on, if you're in a chaotic season of your life. That is more helpful to do it more often, okay? So physically, I'm going to tell you, I don't hear many people talking about this, but I have found for myself that you need to get outside, okay? If you're not, we are told that we need to work inside, we need to exercise inside, we need to get home, we need to be running our business on Instagram and Facebook and all this stuff, and we need to stay connected. And that's a great thing, is to stay connected on those things, but limit your time, okay? And get outside. We are raising an indoor generation because there are kids that don't even know what the grass feels like on their feet. And that is mind-blowing to me. So I'm going to tell you, get outside, go for a walk with your dog, go for a run, start a garden, take your shoes off, just get outside. My favorite things to do outside is running. Even though I'm like a very slow runner, I actually walk faster than I jog, but I'm out there doing it, and it's not for, like losing weight. It's for mental clarity. And I love swimming. I love gardening because you can see your garden grow and the difference in it. We need to be outside. Like a generation ago, most of the people were farmers, and most of us were outside. And then farmers were pushed out because the government didn't really want us here. But that's another webinar for another time. But anyway, so I'm going to challenge you to start growing your own food, start exercising outside, and really get your kids outside and your dogs and it will change your life immensely. That is the physical aspect that I'm going to challenge you. Spiritually is the third part. You need to work out, or you can work out, wash your face, but if you don't have Jesus, you have nothing. So I want to ask you, when was the last time you opened your Bible? Because I know for me, I grew up in a church. I memorized all kinds of verses, and I didn't read my Bible. I just, and I fell out of going to church. And then in 2020, the right person came to me and said, first of all, she encouraged me to work things out with my husband, which no one else did that. And then also she's like, why don't you try going to church again? Try this church. And she said, also, you need to read your Bible. And if you are at a place where you don't know what you believe, but you have questions, that's okay. All right. Because I was there. I was going through a season that was so chaotic, and I just didn't know what was real and what wasn't. So if you have questions, just keep asking questions. Okay. But I do believe that God is working in your life, truly. And if you are interested in reading the Bible, here's how I started. So for me, I started with I started with a devotional because reading the Bible felt overwhelming to me. But I knew that I needed some sort of truth, and everybody has their own truth out there. So I started with a devotional, and then I wanted to read the verse of the day. I'm sorry. I'm on right. Sorry. So you can go to, it is called the Bible app. The Bible app. And you go to the verse of the day. This is the verse of the day right here. And it comes up that someone is going to be talking about the verse of the day. And then you go through and they have a question, and then a devotional, and then a prayer, and then and then they have a picture of the verse of the day. So if you do that every day, you will be learning, and you will get your verse of the day in. You can also write it down in a prayer journal, but that's a way to get introduced into reading the Bible and God's word and the real truth, because a lot of what the world tells us is not actually true. Okay, let's move on to secret number 2. The one thing you can do twice a day to boost your confidence. So if you were listening to my story in the beginning, you might have an idea of what this is. So there was a moment when I was looking in the mirror. Actually, I think I saw a picture of myself that was like a few years prior to that day. And I thought, that girl was so pretty. I was like, I just want to feel pretty again. I was so run down from everything that was happening. And I knew a girl who was selling makeup. She was a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and she, I wanted to support her with the money that I was making from my job. And so I reached out to her and I said, I'd like to buy some makeup. And so I did. I got the basic stuff. I don't wear much makeup anyway, but I tried it and I liked it. And I knew that if I hosted for her, I could get a discount. And so she sent me skincare samples, and I had never washed my face properly before. So to me, she taught me to wash in an upward and outward motion so that you're not pulling down on your skin, because gravity is already working against us and pores grow like shingles on a roof. So upward and outward is the best way to get all of your pores cleaned out and all that. And it basically changed my life. I went from washing my face to, first of all, before I was washing my face, I wasn't doing anything. I felt like the world was ending and all I could focus on was negativity. So I washed my face, then I started running, then I started eating better, then I started going to church, and then everything changed. Like my whole perspective on life was better. I started being nicer to myself. I was in counseling at that point, and then going to church, and a lot of things changed, but it opened up a window for me to see life in a better light. So this is the skincare that I use today, and I knew that it was good for my skin because it is held to a European standard, which means that 1,300 toxic bad ingredients are banned from their standards, when the US only bans 11, which is just crazy, meaning that the US just pushes out the fastest, cheapest stuff. Also, Mary Kay, a lot of their proceeds go to ending domestic violence and also cancer research for women. So that was really cool to me. So I knew where my money was going, and I liked the reason behind it. And soon after that, I ended up joining for the discount, and I had an amazing community of women supporting me, behind me every step of the way. And that was like my action piece of something that helped me through it and beyond it. So let's talk about secret number 3. Let me find in my notes here for a second. Oh, okay. So that brings me to my next point. The one thing you need to stay consistent, and it doesn't cost you a penny. I'm going to tell you, it's community. So community, you need empowering women. I need you and you need me. That's the bottom line. Like, the thing of women being catty is a thing of the past. When you are down on yourself, you need someone there to listen to you and tell you that you are an amazing woman, daughter, sister, mother, all of it. And people will scream at you, self-care, 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 but you really need community, and you need the right community. So when we after my husband and I got back together and everything was over, we're doing good, but my mind was still stuck in the trauma, the past, um, and he was doing really well, and I was still reliving the fears that I was having every day. I was still stuck in my anxiety, still stuck in my depression, and he was helping me through a lot of it. But in church one day, they had a series called The Good Work. And up on the screen, it had all this stuff. And it said, and the pastor said, what one of these topics do you see? And you point to it and say, that's wrong. And so I went up to one of the pastors afterwards and I talked to him and I told him my story. And he connected me with another woman and, and two other women also. And we started a small group. Turned into 15 of us a year later, and they have helped me. Like, my goal was to help them. I wanted to help women who were hurting, and they have helped me more than I can ever tell you, because that was the action piece. I had learned all the things in counseling. I had done all the self-care things. I had washed my face. I had read my Bible, which I'm still reading my Bible. That's a work in progress. But I had, read all the positive quotes and exercised all the exercise, lost the weight, and, but nothing can really be a substitute for women who are on fire for God and showing you encouraging you and telling you that and praying for you. There's nothing like it. So anxiety, fear, and shame thrive in secrecy. When you bring that to the light, you realize you are not alone. So this whole time, I felt like I was alone. And I started talking about things, and I had these amazing women who were right alongside me were like, yeah, I felt that way before. I felt that way. And they had their stories. They encouraged me. I encouraged them. And that action piece of knowing that my pain was not wasted was huge. So, and just seeing my hurt healing someone else, knowing that I could help someone else heal from my past hurts was amazing. So I know that you probably feel like you're drinking from a fire hose right now, that you've learned a lot, and you just learned how, in order to maintain a healthy mindset, you need to be mentally, physically, and spiritually whole. And I gave you a few ways to learn how to do that. You need to learn how to wash your face. I gave you a skincare set, which you don't know how to use yet, but I can teach you. And you need to join a community of like-minded women, so to keep you on the right track. So you could do this on your own, but honestly, haven't you tried that already? And really that defeats the whole purpose of community. When you have other humans cheering you on, keeping you accountable and lifting you up, pointing you back to the light on your down days, and best of all, praying for you, you'll wonder why you ever did try to do it alone. So today I have something to introduce to you, and it is called Healthy Skin, Healthy Life. So it's a community, a Facebook community where women gather, and it's basically one giant consistency challenge, and we lift each other up. We use the Time-Wise Repair, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products. And there is, sorry, I lost my notes. Okay. This is your twice daily confidence booster. So this skincare set is your twice daily confidence booster, okay? And every day I'll give you a reminder for the verse of the day. Remember, we talked about the verse of the day. That's your spiritual health. And then your motivation to work out and get outside. I have workout plans that I've been using that I can post in the group for you. And then for a weekly reminder for the brain download. We'll do skincare tutorials so that you can boost your confidence and learn how to take care of your skin properly. I will also post a weekly link to church. If you have a church that you go to, that is amazing. Please keep going. If you don't have one, this is the one that I go to, and it's an option for you, okay? So today you are getting all of this for $215. That is the price of the skincare set only, okay? And then when you order today or within the next 7 days, you also get the Skinvigorate brush, which I left in the other room. But I'll put a little picture next to it, okay? So, yeah, you get the Skinvigorate brush for free, which is like a Sonicare brush that does extra cleansing on your face so that your face is real clean. So don't forget that I know that you have all these questions. Let's actually go through some frequently asked questions. So you may be wondering what happens if you don't like the skincare line. Can you return it? There is a 100% guarantee return, so that if you have problems with your skin or something like that, then it is 100% money back or exchange for one or any of the products, okay? That's the Mary Kay promise. They want you to be happy with your products, and we can find a skincare line that does work for you. And oh, there we go. And then there's that. Sorry. And then lastly, if you have any questions about the community, we want you there. My biggest goal is to help women just feel better, to break the cycle of people thinking that they have to stay stuck in anxiety and depression. You really don't. So my time is about up. If you have any questions, please email me at Catherine, KATHRYN, JAYNE42 at gmail.com, and I will answer them best I can. So in order to get everything, click the link below, and I will send you the link to sign up. Thanks so much.